we're going to start in a supported child's pose, and I'm going to set you up so that we can then begin to focus on our breath, soften our bodies. So what you'll need is taking your bolster. You have something that's high enough. If you have blocks at home, you can take your blocks and place them in a nice little neat bench, and then we're going to place our bolster over top of them. Again, you can use 2 pillows to stack so that you have the height. And then bringing your knees wide, your toes to touch. Slide your props between your thighs so that you have some support for your belly and your chest. And then we'll start to roll out over our pillows, over our props, and let your head, neck, and chest soften to the earth. So feeling all of your body descend to the mat. Relaxing every single muscle. Just start to get acclimated with your body. Notice where you feel tension. You're gripping, holding resistance. Feel your tailbone soften down towards your heel. Feel your belly, your chest, head and neck. Release and relax. Soften your shoulders away from your ear. Elbows, wrists, and fingertips relax into the mat. Be resting on your right or left cheek. Feel your neck soften. Relax your jaw, your cheeks, space in between your eyebrows. Everything releases. Everything ungrips, unwinds, unpacks. And then begin to focus on those deep belly breaths. Breathe into your lower back. Begin to breathe into the space between the shoulder blades. And feel your heart and your shoulders wrap around your props. In our practice and in every yin practice, we hold for longer periods of time to feel the full expression of each pose. We begin to settle into what we call our edge. That place where we start to feel a dull sensation that intensifies over time, that we can steadily breathe in, breathe as fluidly and as easily as possible. So it's not a labored or forced breath. We allow our muscles to be massaged or manipulated by gravity, letting go of any contraction, and feel yourself dissolve and melt. Let your breath dissolve and melt you into this shape. Let gravity pull you close and settle into that place. Feel just right. Most important aspect of this entire practice is your breath. Your inhales and your exhales getting fuller and deeper with each breath in and every breath out. Filling up new space that we're creating, that we're cultivating. As we slowly ease into our body. Notice what comes up for you. Where do you hold tension? Where does the body feel most tight? What feedback is the body giving you? If we tune in and get quiet enough, really listen to what it is that the body needs or requires in this next hour. We have just a few more deep breaths here. Can you settle in a little closer? Find a little bit more depth. Breathe a little bit longer and fuller. More abundance in the breath. More expansion, back, rib. Allowing everything to melt away. All the tension that you carried and absorbed from this week. Almost as if it could just fall off the bones. Your muscles become so soft. Become like a liquefied puddle. Super mushy and malleable. Everything is releasing, relaxing, and letting go. Last 3 breaths here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out the mouth. Slowly, gently make your way up. Pressing into your hands, you're going to keep your props where they are. Bring your right knee over to the left knee and sit to your outer right hip. Then start to spin your chest and belly forward, making a forward-facing twist. You can separate the knees. That's more comfortable for your lower back. If you like a full spinal twist, you'll face your nose towards your right shoulder, so you're resting on your left. Now begin to explore and navigate this shape, body and breath. Fill into the spaces we create, bringing new breath in. Every exhale, we exhaust out any stagnant, stale energy, breath residing there. It's like a shower. Clear and cleanse with our breath. Our breath is the medicine. So give yourself a nice, healthy, heavy dose of prana. Let your breath clear, cleanse, and remove anything that no longer serves or maybe never served you to begin with. All that excess you're holding on to, let it go out your exhale. So feel free to breathe out the mouth. Deep breath in. Maybe a nice audible sigh. Relax your shoulders from your ears. Fall into this twist. Feel the grounding of this twist. Usually we take a twist on our back, but on our belly, especially in these really kind of high, turbulent, tumultuous times, getting lower and closer to the earth, especially on our belly, it's very comforting, very soothing. Keep breathing deeply, even as we're slightly constricted, filling the belly, the chest, throat. Even pull the breath into the back ribs, into the side body, the whole entire mid body, filling up like a balloon. And every exhale, you contract the breath out by pulling belly slightly in and up. And see if you can exhale so you have no breath left. You might hold at the very bottom of the breath for just a second or two. And then take a full deep breath in, fill up as much as you can, sip in, sip in. Maybe suspend the breath for a second or two, and then once again, exhale. We're just painting and washing the body with that cleansing, clearing breath. We have just a few more deep breaths here. Last 3 cycles of breath. One more deep breath. Exhale out the mouth. Slowly walk your hands up. And then you're going to keep your props where they are. Maybe you adjust your blocks if you have them underneath you. Into a supported back bend. So you just take your blocks, and the top block will be a little higher. The second block will be in line, parallel with the longest side, the front of your mat. And you're just going to roll over onto your back. Reclined butterfly pose, bottoms of the feet together. Roll onto your spine, to your props. Let your head and neck rest. Relax on your bolster, your pillows. And then your arms rest by your sides. Now, depending on how open you want the chest and how open your chest is willing to go today, you might take your arms out a little wider to a T-like shape. For some of us, it might feel good to reach our arms up and overhead, grab up the elbow. Then just let your arms rest behind you, on top, crown. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Let your inner thighs play open. The inner thighs are uncomfortable in this space, in this shape. You might take a blanket, gently wedge them underneath your knees or thighs. You can also take another shape with the legs here. Feel the lower back, spine, deep back. Tailbones dropping into the earth, hip bones are drawing down heavy into your mat. And then breathe. Feel your breath come up into your diaphragm, into your chest, across the collarbones. And then as you exhale, let it go. Be here for a few moments, settling into the shape. Relax your shoulder blades. Feel them hug your bolster, your pillows. Feel your side body lengthen. Release any contraction, tension, or resistance here in the side body in our fight, flight, or freeze muscles. Once again, letting everything melt and dissolve in your breath. And as best as you can through all of these poses today, Allow yourself to be still. Try not to fidget or move. Become so steady, so grounded, so rooted. Like that moment right before you fall asleep into a very deep sleep. You might even drift off. The body becomes transfixed, releases all control. The entire body just softens into your mat. It's important for us to discern the difference between pain and discomfort. The bodies want this. The bodies really crave a little bit of extra stretch, challenge, depending on what type or format of class we're in. But the mind wants to pull us from the pose when it becomes uncomfortable. So just notice that the mind says, all right, we've had enough. We can pull out of this pose now. It's becoming very uncomfortable. But check in, is there any sharp shooting pain? Is there anything electrical, stabbing? If not, then stay here and breathe. A dull discomfort is healthy for the body. Just a nice, long, deep stretch, slowly easing the body into the shape. But also it helps to tap the other parts of our body that we often don't access in a yang-based class. So here we're taxing various acupressure points and meridians or energy lines in the body. Yin is like acupuncture without needles. We compress and stretch the body, tap into various different organs, the respiratory system, nervous system, endocrine and lymphatic system, things, all these systems, all these aspects of our being. It's important to detox, bring out, release any stagnant scale energy, thing we're still connected to, holding on to. So as best we can, as we hold these poses, we soften, release our bodies into these shapes, letting go of that control that comes from the mind. The mind wants to manipulate things, defer you into something that maybe a little bit more comfortable, put that in quotation. Not the best for your body, right? These shapes that we create really help us to bring vitality and rejuvenation back into the body. As much as you can, settle and stay and breathe. Find space between each thought. Let the mind wander, ebb and flow in the background. Now, as you continue to breathe, there'll be more space, more space, more space created between each thought. Let's take our last 3 cycles of breath here. Nice full deep breath in. Exhale out the mouth. Gently bring your arms down by your side, palms face down. You're going to use your hands to pull yourself up. Take your knees, bring them together. Roll over to your left side. Walk your hands forward so that you rest your chest down onto the bolster. Allowing ourselves to make our way onto the other side for our forward facing twist. Again, you can separate the knees. Then let your heart and shoulders wrap around your bolster. You adjusted your props in any way, your blocks underneath your bolster, you may want to lower them down. Maybe take out a pillow or two. And breathe. Notice if your shoulders are shrugging up to your ears. Again, you can rest on your left cheek or maybe your right for a full spinal twist. Notice where the mind goes. Can you rein it back in? Can you tether the mind by using your breath as an anchor to keep you here, still and steady? In our last few breaths here on this side, can you sink in, find a little bit more depth, breathing fully even as the belly is slightly constricted. Last 3 breaths here. One more deep breath in. Exhale out the mouth. Slowly begin to unwind. Make your way onto your hands and your knees. Then back into that wide child's pose. You can take it supported or not. Walk your hands forward. Maybe bring your palms together to touch. Bend your elbows and bring your thumbs towards the nape of your neck. Keep breathing into the back of your ribs. Feel the length of your spine. Tailbone is drawing down to your heels. We have 3 more deep breaths here just as a transition. We'll move into our next pose. On your next inhale, extend your fingertips forward. Plant your hands and pull yourself up tabletop. Exhale as you round the spine. Inhale as you pull the heart forward, lift your chest. Exhale, round the spine, belly button in and up. Inhale, lift the chest, cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, tap. Inhale, lift your chest and walk your hands 2 handprints forward. We're going to make our way to melting heart puppy pose. You might take your knees a little bit wider. Feet are directly back behind the knee. Lower down one forearm and then the next. You might stay here. This may be enough. Keep your tailbone lifted up towards the sky. And if you like, you can take a bolster, a pillow, or a block underneath your chest, and we're going to slide our hands forward. Forehead comes down to the ground. If you have a full expression of this pose where you can bring your chin to the earth, feel free to take that variation. If the shoulders are tight, walk the hands out a little further, almost as wide as your mat, maybe a slight bend in the elbow. And then find this shape. Breathe into the space in your diaphragm, your chest. Start to breathe into the space behind the shoulder blades. This pose doesn't just open our heart on the front of our body, but also starts to expand the space behind the heart, where we hold resentment, disappointment, heartbreak, old patterns of behavior that we just kind of threw onto our back, especially if we tend to be empaths or people pleasers, or we're constantly taking on the weight of the world. See if you can soften that space and let go of that burden that you carry. Because it's not yours to carry. Maybe it never was to begin. I read this wonderful quote today. Said, and it was a reminder for myself as well. So I wanted to share it with you. So be gentle with yourself, dear one. You're doing the best that you can. In these times of struggle, be gentle, be kind, be compassionate. Especially if you tend to be somebody who's very hard on themselves, very critical. Be gentle, be kind, be compassionate to yourself. We have 3 more cycles of breath here. And on your next inhale, slowly slide one elbow back and then the other. Continue to do this. They come up onto your forearms. Round the upper back, tuck your chin. Press into your hands. Walk your hands back to the tabletop, setting aside any props. Slowly, roll back onto your seat. So you can roll out over the ankles or just take feet to one side or the other so that you find yourself on your sit bones. And then we're going to make our way into caterpillar pose, really getting deeper into the upper back between the shoulder blades here, but in a rounded pose rather than a opening, chest opening. So if you like, you can take your pillow, your blocks, your bolster underneath your knees. It's called caterpillar pose. And your feet are hip distance apart. And I like to take my blocks and place them underneath my knees. And then take your bolster or your pillow. You can stack it up, you can fold it up to be more supportive. And then we're just going to round over our legs. So don't worry about lengthening, reaching your toes. It's less about the aesthetics and really about the felt sense experience and the shape. I love this pose. I do this pose like every day. Getting out of bed and just plump into caterpillar pose. Oh, feels so good. So just allow yourself to roll out over your pillow. You're just going to let your head and neck relax. If this is too much for the head and neck, right, here, you might stack your hands or your forearm and bring your forehead so it's less of a intense stretch in the back of your neck. Now we really get to breathe into this space. Fill your breath up between your shoulder blades, expand and open. And then as you exhale, even maybe an audible sigh or breath out the mouth. All that weight you've been carrying, let it go. All that burden, all that strife, all that suffering, let it go. And maybe it's not someone else you need to forgive, but you need to forgive yourself. That can be one of the hardest things we tend to be able to externalize our experience, especially again, those who be very critical. And I speak from experience. This is all from my own personal experience. Be very hard on myself. So forgive yourself. If it's something you're carrying around and you wish you did something different, acted a certain way, whatever it might be, and whether or not it was unjust, misperceived, whatever, however you judged it or another person judged it, forgive yourself. You might even use a pono, the beautiful kind of prayer or asking in Hawaii. Says, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I use this many times as my own personal mantra. So if there's something that you've been carrying around that you want to let go of, maybe you invite in a pono. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. Keep falling into this space, breathing into this space. We're here for another minute or so. Allow yourself once again to unwind, dissolve, melt. That liquidy state, that fluidity, that flow, letting go of contraction, of control. Find yourself being massaged or molded in the hands of gravity. Maybe for these last few cycles of breath, you remove your bolster and then find yourself bringing your chest closer to your thighs, with your head and neck hang heavy, and maybe you might be able to bring your head between your knees. This is similar to snail pose, but we're not on our backs here. We're compressing close into our thighs and gravity push our upper and lower back down. And if you can, imagine, since I can't be there to adjust you, that one hand is in your mid back and upper back, and it's pushing and just gently pressing your chest and your shoulder close into your thigh. And then the other hand is pulling your lower back and tailbone, lower spine down. So opposing movement. One hand is pulling and pushing, like pushing forward and down. And then the other hand is pulling and dropping your hips, your tailbone. Feeling the length of the spine. You can do this energetically. And take our last deep breath. Exhale out through the mouth. Slowly tuck your chin to chest, roll one vertebra all the way up. Remove your pillows or blocks, bolsters, and rest back on your hands, feet as wide as your mat. And then rock the toes out, point flex the toes, maybe kind of shake your toes out. And chin is neutral. Let's take a deep breath in. As you exhale, tilt your chin back, let it go. Inhale to center. Exhale, let it go. One more time. Inhale. Draw your chin to your chest. We're activating the thyroid here in the throat chakra. And then exhale, tilt the chin all the way back. Slowly draw yourself to center. Making our way into half hero's pose, ardha, virasana. We're going to start with our left leg first. You're going to roll to your right side, bend your left knee. The top of your left foot is flat to the earth. For some of this will be too much pressure on the knee, so you might want to kind of pull your knee away from center, your toes turn out. For me, this is a little funky. It doesn't work for my knee. It feels better for the top of my left foot to be flat. So I'll turn this way so that you can see. And you can have your legs hip distance apart here. You might massage the calf out a little bit so that your thigh can rest and sit a little bit easy. This might be enough for you. This is beginning to activate our stomach and spleen meridian. And clear out any toxins, detox the organs. For some of us, it might feel good to start to walk your hands back, and this is going to intensify the stress. If your knee lifts high up off of the mat, then you'll bring yourself back to seated. You don't want to put any extra strain or pressure on our knee. For some of us, it might feel really good to drop down to the forearms. Again, check in with that left knee. Is it rising really high up off of the mat? And if so, bring yourself back to seated or somewhere in between. And maybe you might work your way all the way down on your back. Now don't worry, we tend to get fixated on the aesthetics of the pose. More important that you feel the intensity without any pain. So if you're worried about that you can't get down on your back, don't worry. Remember, be gentle, be kind to yourself, and do what your body asks of you and requires of you, moment in time. You might eventually come down to your back one day. It doesn't need to be today. If what works best for your body is just resting back on your hands or seated, sitting tall, I want you to honor that. Honor your body's request. Best you can, relax your right thigh. You might notice that the thighs want to compensate. Feel your lower back soften. Keep a natural curve in your lower back. Just feel your tailbone, your rib cage, shoulders soften. Notice if you're cinching your shoulders up to your ears, relax them down and away, whether you're seated or laying down. We have just a few more breaths here. Last 3 breaths here. Nice deep breath in. Exhale out the mouth, flush it out with your exhale. If you're on your back, you're going to slowly make your way up. Be careful to engage your belly just a little bit to pull yourself up to support your lower back. We're all going to roll to our right side and extend our left leg out. Rest back on the hand and feel the tingling, heating sensation. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, tilt the chin back, let it go. Inhale to center. Exhale. One more time, inhale, chin draws all the way to your chest. Exhale, tilt it back, let it go. Make your way back to center. Roll over to your left thigh, bend your right knee. Once again, take that variation. For me, top of the right foot feels perfect for what my body is asking. But for some of us, pulling the leg or the calf away and the toes turning out might feel more comfortable for the knee. For me, this feels a little bit edgy, so the top of the foot works best. And same thing on this side. Find your seat and just let yourself relax. Feel your sit bones, tailbone drop. Feel your spine sitting tall. And just a nice natural curve in your lower back. Again, if you'd like, you can recline. Check in with that right knee. Make sure that it's not lifting too high up off of the mat. A little lift is okay, but nothing too extreme. You'll feel it in your quad first. Like on this side, I'm hanging out on my forearms. Right quad says no more. So I listen. You don't want to force or jam yourself into a pose. You're reclined. You're somewhere in the middle. Make sure not to tense your neck up. And I say this because, again, coming from experience, I'm doing that. I'm not relaxing my shoulders as much as I could. So I'm probably just going to walk myself up. I can't really relax in that shape. It's too much. It's important that we check in. Just a few more deep breaths. You might notice it intensifies over time. I've been doing a lot of bike riding and squats lately. My quads are feeling it. So as much as possible, breathe into that space. And every exhale, probe the tension, soreness. Let's take one more deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Slowly walk yourself up. You came all the way down onto your back. You'll start to walk yourself up to unrecline. Do you recline? I'm not sure which one it is. I think unrecline. Disrecline? No, not right. Extend the right leg. Make your way out of reclining. And then let your legs relax. Feel the tingling, heating sensation, the energy moving through the body. And hero's pose is a really nice one. You might feel this intensely more than the other poses because we're actually pinching off the femoral artery and the blood flow in our leg when we do that pose. And then so we really bring a lot of oxygen and then we flush it to the feet. Just a nerdy moment. I love it. Love yoga. Again, it's magic. Slowly bring yourself up to seated. And then you're going to bend your knees and have your block, bolster, pillows, blocks, books, whatever you got. We're going to bring them by our side. We're going to make our way to supported bridge pose. You're going to scoop your hips to your heels. Roll down onto your back. This might be enough. You may not want an extra kind of curve in your lower back and a back bend in your lower back. So you can just stay here with your sacrum softening to the earth, or maybe just the blanket or bolster. You have blocks at home or books that lift you up and support you to about 1 or 2 blocks height. Feels really nice, decompressing the spine and allowing your feet to relax into the mat and let your hips, your sacrum, lower back. So make sure that your lower back is not on the props and your tailbone isn't on the props. It's your sacrum, that space in between. Deep breath in and easy breath out. Maybe gently tuck your shoulders underneath and palms face up, opening the chest, the slight tilt of your chin away from your chest. For some of us, you just want to stay here. I'll give you a variation. You might extend one leg and then the other. This is an intensified back bend, so just know if your body is prepared for this shape. If there's any pinching, sharp shooting, electrical pain, bring your knees back to center, feet flat to the mat, back to your supported grip. And again, breathe into the shape, space we cultivate. Nice full deep breath in. Easy, steady breath out. Got the legs long. It feels really good on the front of our hip flexors. But feel if you can just let your legs be so heavy that you feel that as you're in this back bend, a nice stretch across the top of your thigh. Three more breaths. If you straighten your legs, start to bend your knees. You might bring your knees in towards your chest. Maybe you can extend the legs up. You can do this if you're in supported bridge without extending legs as well. Nice little comfortable. Called waterfall or supported sarvangasana, solar stance. It's like taking your purse or your bag, turning it upside down and shaking out all the junk that's collected. Just recirculating any energy and blood back into the body. Flushing it out with our breath. Take one more deep breath in. If you have your feet extended up towards the sky, slowly release. One foot at a time. Support your lower back. Press into your feet and lift your hips just enough to slide your blocks. And roll down, upper back, mid back, lower back. And imprint like we do in Pilates. Lengthen the tailbone, press your lower back into the mat. Pull your lower belly in. And then exhale, release, find that natural curve to your low back. Draw your knees into your chest as wide as your ribs. And then gently rock side to side or take small circles. We're going to end here with a twist before we come into our final resting pose. So I'm going to recommend taking the knees to the left, but you can take any twist that you like. I like to come all the way to a fetal position, extending my left arm long. And like a rainbow, reaching your right arm up and overhead, like you're drawing a rainbow overhead, dropping your right shoulder so your arms are out to a T. Feel your hips, outer thighs relax. The closer your knees are to your chest, the more intense the twist. The further away, you'll find a little bit more release and not as much twist. So just depending on how deep you want to twist, whatever suits you. You might play with the knees and find that perfect spot to rest. And for a full spinal twist, nose, eyes, turn over to the right shoulder. Prioritize your right shoulder first down to the ground before your knees. So if your knees lift up a little bit, you might take a blanket or bolster, bring it in between your knees or underneath your left knee. Same thing here with this heart opener. You might take your arms a little higher, bend the elbows, cactus arms. We have a few moments here to settle in, even as we're slightly constricted. Big belly breath. Long, steady, easy breath. breaths out. One more deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Knees draw in. And we make our twist. Bring it to the other side. Again, you can roll to your right side fetal position. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Extends out to a T. Drop your left shoulder down to the left. You stay to the right. Then find this shape on this side. I like to scoot my hips a little bit back so that my left hip stacks over my right. And then gently draw back into the twist, dropping left shoulder to the left. A few more breaths. Take one more in. Easy exhale. Slowly draw your knees into your chest, one knee at a time. Rock side to side, take small circles. You might take circles independent of each knee, making a Venn diagram, figure eight like shape, infinity sign, whatever you want to assign a name to this moving meditation. And then draw your knees into your chest. You're going to curl in the little tiny ball. Wrap your arms around your shins or maybe grab for your feet. Pull it in. Give yourself a nice big twinge. And once again, love yourself. Thank yourself for taking this time to invest in you. Some self-love and self. Take one more inhale, squeeze, maybe a kiss on the knees. And then extend out. Reach your legs long, your arms by your side, slightly separated. Make your way into Shavasana, or final resting pose. You can always use bolster, props, pillows, blankets underneath the knees, behind the back, in line with the spine support. Take our last collective breath together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Shavasana. Settle, surrender, let go of any last bit of resistance. Let go of everything. This is the ultimate melting, like a ooey gooey brownie in the oven, or like vegan cheese on a griddle. Just melt into it. And allow yourself to truly rest here. I'll bring you out to Shavasana when it's time. Don't worry. Just be, settle, surrender, and stay. Just rest. A deep breath, an easy breath out. If you feel called to do so, stay in Shavasana. Don't need to rise and stay here a bit longer. But if you're looking to start the rest of your day or maybe move into something else, slowly begin to wiggle your toes, fingers, roll out wrists, ankles. Take a nice morning stretch, reach your arms up and overhead, reach them. And then draw your knees into your chest and roll to your left side, grounding and sealing our practice, honoring our bodies, our minds, our spirit, honoring our intention. May we take this practice beyond our mat into our everyday thoughts, words, and actions. May we live life and embody life as a yogi. May we be kinder, gentler, more compassionate, more generous, especially towards ourselves, engaging in more of these practices. This is a time that's really calling us to go in. We can't go out, go in. Allow yourself to rise seated, sitting tall. Bringing your hands to heart center, eyes closed, awareness inward. Bowing your head to your hands once again. Really having gratitude that you took this last hour, carved some time out for you. We'll seal our practice here with a collective Om and Sri Shanti. Taking this energy that we cultivated here within our hearts and allowing it to shine out, to sing out to the rest of the universe, to people we know, people we don't know. They can feel that kindness, that compassion, that love, the animals, the environment, everyone encompassed, being of all kinds. Take a deep breath and exhale out the mouth. Inhale. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, liberated from suffering. May our thoughts, words, and actions in some way contribute to the happiness and freedom of all. And so it is. It's been my honor to serve. Namaste.